It's time for Contessa's Court with Wanda Julian. Wanda owns, creates, and runs 7 magazines. Each magazine is focused on health, beauty, and luxury. Her business motto is to share beauty and goodwill with the world. Now, it's time for the show, Contessa's Court.
Hi, everybody. Welcome, Dr. Kyre.
Hello.
Hello. It's lovely to see you again. I didn't expect to see you so early because we weren't going to have you on until season 3, but since our season 2 show aired, you and I had done some talking, and Angie was like, we need her to do more shows. I'm like, yes, we do. And I mean, because I don't remember if we discussed this during your last episode, and if you haven't seen it, go to Contessa's Court Talk Show on Facebook. All the episodes are there for the 2nd season, and you are the only one that does activations, right? The only one in the whole world.
Yes.
Because you created them.
That's right. And I'm one of 40 people who do Geotran.
One of 40 people that do Geotran. So you are like super rare.
Yes.
I'm gonna put you in a little case. A nice one though. Nice. You're like, I'm not going in a case. I'm like, why did I say that? What pictured in my mind is, the rose that the prince gets from the woman that's like, please let me stay the night, from Sleeping Beauty. No, not Sleeping Beauty. Beauty and the Beast. So it's like, ooh, a pretty case like that. But you gotta breathe. You gotta move around. You got stuff to do.
Yeah.
So we don't want to how about we just put you in a nice chateau, and we'll say that's it.
Totally looking forward to that. Absolutely. That is my absolute plan, and it's rolling along. And I already have 3 different colored berets, because when you're in France, you have to wear berets. It's the law.
Yes. Yeah. Is it really?
Oh yeah.
You're like, I'm saying. I love this, and so it's like we talked about it, and you're going to have your own show. In fact, starting this month.
Yes.
When the first one's air.
That's right. It's going to be called Being the Best You. Yeah? Because I realized recently, and I know we all have these aha moments when we're just restored to who we are.
Yes.
And I realized that I'm not a coach. Woo! I'm not a coach. No. What I do is I get my clients, get back into alignment with who you actually are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and not at the kind of level of what you have been told that you are.
Right.
Being a 2-year-old onwards.
Right.
Your actual divine blueprint. We each have one. This is not about theology. We each have something that we are absolutely designed to come and do or be or have, to become. It's like a job here, which may turn into a business or may not, depending on who you are and what it is. But it's written into every cell. Right? So if we look at the person as a collection of computers, like a local area network of computers, that's what I do. I go in there and I throw out the contamination.
Woo!
Yeah, exactly. and the computer viruses and assimilation and all of this stuff that gets you down into being a lower frequency of vibration than you really meant to run at. Because once we clear that out of the way and we reset those inner circuits. Now circuits, you could use the human design analogy, or you could use the acupuncture analogy. Yeah, see, we all have circuits, we all have meridians in there, and they get clogged up. And we're around other people. We act like, to mix my analogies, we act like radio transmitters and receivers. So everybody's radiating all the time. Everybody's broadcasting and everybody's receiving all the time. And if you're empathic, like certain other people sharing the screen with me right now, if you're empathic, that by definition means that your boundaries are thin. And so you're going to pick up those energies from other people even more. So we clear you,
Mhm.
set you, and then we use these unique activations to say, okay, you come fully loaded with the
Yep.
programs that you need to be who you are in alignment with your divine blueprint. We're going to even expand that. We're going to even amplify that with
Mhm.
new ways of getting you into those higher frequencies multidimensionally. And the
Wow.
result, because people keep asking me, God bless them, keeps asking me, well, what are the tangible results of what you do? That's a fair question. And I would love to say to you, be able to say to you, oh, well, after one session with me, you're going to have, be making 15,000 a month and have a perfect marriage and your children will be well behaved. It's not quite as simple as that. What you do get, is you get back in alignment with your unique happy life.
Mhm.
So, peace of mind, better physical health, more money
Yeah.
coming in, greatly, vastly increased self-worth and self-esteem. I think Wanda, that I
Yep.
just actually put a little video on Facebook about this, about the connection between self-worth and prosperity.
Yep.
So it is inevitable that if you clean off all this carp, then
Uh-huh.
you're going to be able to receive more on the financial level as well as all the other physical levels that are of interest to you.
Yeah, I've had some very interesting conversations with you privately, and I I was thinking of somebody that had did some healing on me probably about a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
and she said that I had my radio broadcast out
Mm-hmm.
said punish me, and somebody put that on me when I was 13. So I went through my whole 53 years with saying punishment. I'm like, no wonder I'm attracting jerks.
Absolutely.
and,
Absolutely.
and now it says love me, so we changed it to love me.
Yeah, and this is what I find. I mean, I've been working in this field for 25 years now. As a geotrend practitioner, I also trained as a coach. Although I'm moving beyond that, as I started out by saying, and I find that when I work with people, 80% of the time, what I'm hearing is from other people, other persons, places, or things. So it could be the culture or the religion that you grow up in. It could be that your mother was like this and your dad was like this, and they had all their own resolved issues, and you were the closest person. And kids have no boundaries. Kids assume that everything that's going on with their parents is about them.
Yeah.
So, my parents got divorced when I was 3 years old, and my teacher, Dorothy Espio, the creator of Geotran, I worked in her office for 3 years. She turned around to me one day and said, "You know what? I get that you're actually processing both sides of your parents' divorce, and you have been doing this since you were 3."
Oh boy.
Well, if something happens to you that when you're that young, you grow up thinking that is normality.
Yep.
That is reality.
Yep.
And so it takes a certain amount of bringing the subconscious patterns into the conscious, where we can look at them, we can decide, no, that's not you. And then Geotran and the activations come in as actual techniques for releasing that stuff.
Right. And I know what you mean. My parents got divorced when I was 4 and my brother was 2.
Yeah.
So it's like I always wanted to be a mom and a wife, and I was with my first husband, Glenn, for 16 years, and we had our wonderful boy who's now 30, named Austin. And I've been with Robert, my second husband, for almost 15 years. So I just, and we have Skylar. And so, I wanted to kind of do the opposite of my parents and really, hunker down and stay married. And, because I was brought up by my grandparents who were like, don't get pregnant before you get married. Like, number one, don't do that. And because, they were at the time, 70 or so. And they're like, don't do that. I'm like, you don't got to worry about that, promise. And then second was get married and stay married, because they were married 52 years. And so that's just what you did. And so I kind of grew up with the more things from my grandparents than my parents.
Right. So
Mhm.
their belief system, their memories, their experiences, whatever they are, which may have been 100% correct and appropriate for them.
For them, yeah.
Not
And the pregnancy
necessarily
thing, I'm
true
like,
for you.
I really do not want to get pregnant until I'm married. And so I just made that happen, you know?
Yeah. So it gets very interesting. Again, looking more at my life, because I don't mind talking about myself.
Yes, of
Uh,
course.
I grew up with a narcissistic father. Okay, he was doing the best that he knew how.
Mhm.
He was a dry alcoholic. And I was reading this fascinating, not reading, actually listening to a tape set, cassettes, remember cassettes?
Oh, I do.
By Terry Gorski. And this was
Mhm.
25 years ago, but it made such an impression on me, as you see, I'm still there with it.
Uh-huh.
He was addressing adult children of alcoholics. He was addressing a conflict.
Yes. Yes.
They asked him to talk about normal relationships. And he said, "Are you sure that's what you want me to talk about? Because 75% of American families are wildly dysfunctional. How about I talk about healthy relationships instead?" So they said,
Mhm.
"Oh, yeah, okay, we take your point." His central point is that, let's say you have a parent who's addicted to something. It
Mhm.
doesn't have to be a drug. I mean, or
Right.
alcohol. They could be
Yep.
addicted to rage. They could be addicted to resentment. They could be addicted
Right.
to depression. Yeah.
Mhm.
What you're going to have modeled for you when you're way too young to understand what's going on. So it sinks
Mhm.
into your subconscious and it stays there
Oh, yeah.
like a computer virus. What you
Mhm.
have modeled to you is the relationship between the parent and the addictive substance. Now,
Mhm.
in my world, we talk about addictions as actually being about activities. Yes, that they are
Mhm.
actions and behaviors that
Mhm.
change the blood chemistry in your brain, right?
Mhm.
So when you look at someone who's got an addictive personality or a narcissistic personality, because they're actually pretty similar on a psychological level, then
Mhm.
you're seeing someone who has a relationship that is all ups and downs,
Mhm.
okay? All ups and downs. So instead of a healthy relationship, which is 20% of calm, comfortable, steady, harmonious, you're having 20% calm and harmonious and 80% ups and downs. So your whole life
Wow.
map gets based
Mm.
on adrenaline and fear.
Mhm.
Yeah, you
Mhm.
feel the difference between
Right.
passion and desire on the one hand, which could be healthy and wonderful, or this fear. Now, getting back to my dad. So what I noticed after a while is that I kept
Mhm.
attracting the same kinds of partner,
Mhm.
which
Yep.
had both the good points and the bad points.
Yes.
My father, who, by the way, is dead now, and we've forgiven each other, and it's not a big deal.
Right.
My point here is, so it was when I started noticing that there was this common denominator
Mhm.
between the kind of men that I was interested in going out with, and the common denominator was me. Damn it! And they were all intelligent,
Yeah.
charismatic, uh,
Mhm.
well-read and well-traveled, and arrogant.
Oh,
Does this ring any bells for anybody
yeah.
who was here?
May-
I'm not trying to be
Maybe.
helpful here. That's one example.
Oh.
So then as I was learning this geotran stuff, I was like,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, where I need to really apply this is those subconscious patterns and beliefs, those subconscious toxic experiences,
Yeah.
subconscious toxic memories, which,
Yeah.
as I say, 80% of the time is not you anyway.
Right.
The great part about that is they are easier to get rid of
Yeah,
because
they
they
are.
belonged in your system to start with. Those patterns
Right.
are programmed. Yeah. It's just you
Mm.
grew up thinking that everybody felt like that.
Right. And how do I remove a narcissist from my life?
Oh, that is such a great question.
Uh,
And I can only tell you how I got away from the narcissist that I went out with for a whole 2 months. Uh,
okay.
it's like I actually introduced this guy to a friend whose opinion I respected, and she waited till he went away, and she said, "Can I be frank with you?" And I said, "Oh, please do." He says, his insides don't match his outsides.
Mm-hmm.
She said, you don't know this about me, but I actually had to leave the East Coast in the middle of the night with what I could fit in my car and what I had in my pocket. And I moved to California to get away from a narcissist. Once I saw that, blinders coming off,
Mm-hmm.
I waited until he got in touch with me. And I said, he mentioned to me that he was going on a 5-week trip. This was around Christmas. I said, I've been thinking, and I come to the conclusion that I agree with you. Perfect way to deal with a narcissist. What are they going to do? They want to fight with you because they're getting off on the stress and the energy of it. Doesn't matter negative attention. It's all attention as far as they're concerned.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually had the wit to shut up until he said the obvious question, which is, what do you agree with me about?
Oh boy.
I said, we live 2 hours apart from each other, and I think you're right. I think it's too far apart to really get it to work.
Mm-hmm.
We had a nice little chat, and I said, just to be super clear, as far as I'm concerned, we're no longer in a romantic relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he went off. He texted and called me every day for the next 2 weeks.
Of course he did.
Because he wanted to poke back in my energy.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, I took a call 2 weeks later. I said, "Oh, I miss you. I miss you." I said, "No, you don't. If you really felt about me the way you're talking to me right now, you would be here,
And not on a 5-week trip, or I'd be with you.
Or I'd be with you. So,
Mm-hmm.
let's get real here. This is,
Mm-hmm.
we don't have a relationship. And that's the thing to understand about narcissists. This is the really, really central part to understand about narcissists. I'm not just talking about people with narcissistic traits. I'm talking about full bore, down that end of the spectrum. They're narcissists. They have no conscience,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't have a relationship with anyone.
Right.
Now,
Or unless it's convenient for them.
no, it's still not a relationship.
Really?
A relationship implies some kind of reciprocity. A narcissist doesn't do reciprocity. A narcissist will push you away, pull you back, push you away, pull you back. It's very important to a narcissist that you are off balance all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So you're sitting right at the edge of their comfort zone where they're going to get the maximum battery strength out of you and give the minimum in return.
Mm-hmm.
Because as far as a narcissist is concerned, everybody in his or her life, and there are women narcissists, it's more typically men, but they are both. All they're interested in is winning the game, in which you are simply a playing piece. It's like you're a character in a video game.
Yeah.
They are not seeing you as a human being on a par with them in terms of what you can expect or demand or give or take or receive, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is, for a narcissist, it is all about them.
Yeah.
24/7, 100%. So getting back to the original question, really the only thing you can do is walk away.
Yeah.
Walk away. Don't have them, block them in your contacts. Move out of town if you possibly can. Get out of their circle of authority, which is typically between 5 and 15 miles across. Just get out of Dodge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really. That's really the only way of dealing with a narcissist. And they will then pursue you and try and persuade you that you didn't understand what they meant by such and such and such and such, because it's all going to be your fault.
Always.
Yeah, just walk away. Walk away. Yes, that is
sad.
It is. It's very sad. And I feel for them, but I don't feel for a narcissist enough to put myself back in the firing line ever.
Mm-mm.
Not doing it.
No.
I love me more than that.
Yes. And you were talking about your dad drinking, right?
Dry alcoholic.
Right.
I never saw him as an actual alcoholic. But
right.
There was that addictive thing.
Addictive thing. Yeah, my grandpa on my dad's side, his name is Grandpa Ray. He's passed on a long time ago, and he was a daily alcoholic
I,
every day.
that's the other part of what Terry Gorski was saying about
Mhm.
adult children of alcoholics and looking at the how their parents are modeling the
Yeah,
relationship.
yeah,
Not the relationship between the mother and the father, the relationship
right.
between the addictive personality and the addiction behavior. He says
Yeah.
highs and lows, and here's the other part: it's always available.
Oh.
Alcohol, let's say alcohol, just because that's probably where most of us have had the most experience.
Yes,
It's always available,
always. And
and
he would hide it everywhere.
therefore they're going to expect you to be always available.
Mm-hmm.
You're in a relationship with someone with that kind of personality.
Yeah, that it's hard to admit that he was an alcoholic. Like that was like a big secret, but it has shaped me and my brother to where myself I don't touch alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
If I do, it's rare. I've never been drunk. I've never had more than 3 drinks, and that was like my 35th birthday. I'm gonna be 55. I just have no because I'm afraid that I could get addicted to, like that I have that
Mm-hmm.
in me.
Yeah.
My mother was very careful with everything as well because she goes, I already know I have an addictive personality. I cannot do these things. If I have a drink, it's this much.
Yeah.
And then the rest is milk because she liked the Kahlua and cream.
Right.
That was her favorite drink. And so she was like, we'll just get a little bottle. And that would be like 6 drinks for her, just the little one shot type thing. And because she knew she had an addictive personality, and I've known ever since I was young as well. And that's why I was like, I'm not going to touch alcohol. I'm not going to take the chance of being an alcoholic. I'm not, my oldest boy never had a drink. He's 30. He has no desire to. I told him, when you're 21, if you want to drink, just do it here. Or let us drive you to where you're going, and then we'll come get you. So it's always safe. I always wanted in a safe setting for him. And our 14-year-old, he's 14. We don't got to worry about him.
No, it's at the moment. But
yeah.
But here's the question, Wanda. If you don't mind my posing this question, it's really for the people listening.
Yes.
Great. You saw this example of an addictive personality with an addictive substance, and you said, not for me. Excellent.
Not for me.
Excellent response. Same thing in my family. I'm the one who has, half a glass of wine a couple of times a week, whereas my sister, the one time she came to visit me in California, she had a 6-pack of beer for breakfast, which amazes me. And she smokes. It's like, are you not paying any attention to what our family is like? Okay, that's the question. But my question to you, Wanda, would then be, well, is there anything you are addicted to that's not a chemical?
Food? Can you be addicted to food?
Absolutely.
Pop? I know I'm addicted to pop. I can't. I diet pop because I'm a diabetic. But pop is my one vice. I love it so much.
Yeah. See, whereas I feel that about soda pop the way you talk about alcohol. It's like, not for me. Whereas my dad, kind of, he has no boundaries around food. Especially sweet things, like couldn't keep any ice cream in the house because he would just eat it.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit that way about chocolate. As you know, I make exceptional chocolate truffles. I've got 10 different flavors in the fridge right now.
Oh my goodness.
But I can eat one and put the rest away.
That's good.
Whereas my addictions are more around, I get frustrated easily. Yeah. Now that's a behavior that creates chemical changes in the brain. So the what do you call them? Receptors in the brain. Yeah. If I indulge in losing my temper or getting frustrated, those receptors get bigger. Whereas if I'm careful, if I'm cautious, if I listen more to the radio station that says, okay, calm, harmony, being looked after, you are precious, you are supported, you are unique, you are the things that are important to me.
Yes.
Then those receptors get bigger.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So what I would encourage your listeners to consider, and
Mm-hmm.
Not so much consider for themselves, but ask a trusted friend.
Yeah.
Do you think I am addicted to anything? And if so, what is that? But if you
Right.
have the kind of personality that goes up and down all the time, chances are it's hooking into some kind of behavior or character trait
Mm-hmm.
that you're addicted to. And
Yeah.
then you can't be detached. And mastery is about detachment.
Right. So why are we drawn to negative behaviors? What do we need to change about ourselves? Oh, that's hard.
Oh,
Right?
how much time have you got for me to talk about that?
Not enough. Episode 3.
That is
That's our topic.
that is a really terrific question. It really is. So well done.
Yeah.
Okay. Why are we drawn to negative behaviors? Because they are feeding existing receptors, which we have probably picked up, probably from other people, places, or things, probably before the age of 5. Yeah.
Wow.
So, for instance,
Yeah.
let's take because we were talking about like romantic relationships between men and women, and I'm not for a second dismissing or even talking about same-sex relationships or whatever. That's not the point.
No.
The point is, as women
Mm-hmm.
of a certain age, and even more when we were younger, we were often attracted to bad boy behaviors. Because we confused passion and desire with fear and stress.
Oh, okay.
See, so the bad boys feel more exciting to us.
Mm-hmm.
And we're saying, oh, well, I'm getting this excitement. That must mean that I love this person or that I'm passionate about or that I have some kind of desire thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
When the fact of the matter is we're addicted to the adrenaline.
Mm-hmm.
So if we look at, not you, of course, but your friends, if we look at other people who keep having the same relationship over and over again with different people,
mm-hmm.
that is typically what's happening.
Yeah.
A little bit of that addiction energy going on for the bad boy or for rejection or for feeling lonely or for, you see, we look at addictions and we automatically were trained really in our culture to see that as relating to something outside us, but actually real addiction is what's going on inside us.
Right. And also sometimes you stay in relationships for lots of reasons. It's the kids, it's the you don't want to be alone, it's the I've spent a quarter of my life with this person, you know what I mean? Sometimes even more than that, half or a third.
The problem is that kind of investment is not actually a good reason for staying.
No, I know. I'm just saying a lot of people do that. Like my mom was like, I'm out.
Well, my mom too. She did marry again when I was 10. That marriage lasted 5 years. By then, I had actually moved abroad. So I was brought up in New Jersey, but I moved to Vienna when I was 14. And my dad and his family, the same one that got divorced when I was 3. So I don't really know the ins and outs, and I never actually had an adult relationship with my mother because she died when I was 21. But looking at it with the tools that I have now, that would be the question I would be asking. It's like, what actually induced you to marry this guy to start with? Firstly, and secondly, she left after only 5 years. Which actually, come to think of it, it's the same like the time she was with my dad. When I think about it, and she would have left sooner, except she had another daughter by then. So, like the rest of us, she was brought up to, feel like she should stay there for her daughter.
Yes, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. We have kind of almost the opposite. My dad died when I was 11, and my mom lived until I was 48, 47.
Relatively recently. Yeah, my dad died 2 years ago. Yeah.
And so it's like I had such a tiny amount of time with my dad and longer with my mother, but my relationship with my mother was never good until like the last 2 years she was alive. And so
Sure.
I just basically do the opposite of what she did, except for holidays. She always did holidays really, really well.
But here's the thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's so great that you brought up this thing about alcoholism.
Mm-hmm.
Example, that is what we do.
Yes.
Yeah, we see somebody engaging in unbalanced behavior.
Mm-hmm.
We're either going to imitate them or we're going to resist them.
Mm-hmm.
And neither of those is a position of liberty, of detachment.
You're right.
Detachment is saying, wait a minute, who am I and what is the best way of living for me, with my
Right.
personality, with my blueprint, with what spirit has for me or is requiring from me.
Mm-hmm.
We can't even hear what that is most of the
You're
time.
right. You're right. I never thought of that.
Into these behaviors that we've been taught from such a young age. And I'm not trying to make the parents wrong. I mean, they're doing the best they could with what they knew.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm just saying that the parent we get on with least well is usually the one we are most similar to. And
Boy, don't say that.
I
The least well. I'm going to say it's my dad. No, I'm just kidding. We all know it's my mother.
yeah,
I
well,
look just like her. I took her picture down, but
yeah.
I look just a little bit different. But
My mother and I were very similar emotionally. My dad and I were very similar mentally. So, boy, do I understand why they couldn't live together after a fairly short while. I get it.
Yeah.
I just have no escape because, we someone in some book I read once said our nature hangs around our neck like a retriever who's gone off to get a duck, hunting.
Yep.
Working with our nature rather than against our nature is, I think, a major lesson that we're here to enjoy, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
So that's why I focus on getting people back to who they actually are without overlays. Because
it's great.
I can see with almost all people. I mean, I have a lot of intuition, and it's trained intuition, and I've always somehow been able to see the potential in people. Now, this is a two-edged sword. Right? Because if you are always looking at people in terms of their potential, then you're not paying attention to who they actually are right now.
Right.
And that's actually kind of unfair for them.
Right.
That puts you in a place where you're basically constantly judging them and you're constantly disappointed because they're not living up to the potential that you can see really clearly.
Right. Right.
But the cool thing about what I do professionally is that I can get you from that potential to actual reality of who you are.
Okay.
That's why what I say is, what I'm doing is I'm helping you be the best you, getting from block to bold, from brass to gold.
Yes.
From better to best.
Yes. I love that. I love that.
That's
best. Why you're having your own show, because of this wisdom. In fact, we'll be on each other's show once a month, right?
That's right. That's right.
On my show.
There will be no escape. Yeah.
No. Well, good. I'm like, come here. I got you. Okay. Why do I feel so guilty taking care of myself? What's wrong with me?
Oh. Okay. There are two parts to that question. If I can just jump right in, because I really get that part. All right. Firstly, who is saying that there's anything wrong with you? Is that you? Or is it your mother, your father, your siblings, your spouse, the dog that bit you when you were 6? That the God of your being is never going to say that. The God of your being is the one saying, you're special, you're beloved, you're taken care of, in my case, peculiar, you're brilliant, you're whatever it is you're designed to be. Yeah. So again, not wanting to go into theology, I don't care how you think about God, but I'm saying that there is a spiritual energy that designed you and it thinks you are marvelous.
Absolutely. Yeah? So there's nothing wrong with
There's nothing wrong with you. But because you're asking that question, your subconscious goes, I better start checking for what's wrong with me. Is it there? 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 And it will keep on doing that until
Find
it
something.
comes up with things that are wrong with you, which you then get to focus on and get more of, or your computer crashes.
Yes, and we don't want that.
No, we do not. So why do you feel so guilty taking care of yourself? Because your self-worth, self-esteem, self-love got pulverized.
Yeah.
Because if you really, understood how special and valuable you are, you wouldn't have any problem taking care of yourself. It would be top of your list.
Yes, I struggle with that. I do the cup until my cup, they say your cup fills another person's cup, like your families, your children, everybody. I'm like, I'm working with bare bones in here because there's no even a drop in here. So so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do a facial, I'm gonna do a mask, or I'm gonna file my nails, or I'm gonna put on some jewelry or something that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm purposely doing that. I don't care if the cats are in the bathroom because they're gonna follow me wherever I go. So I'm doing my mask with you right here. That's fine.
So just a suggestion, and really intended, for those listening.
Yeah.
How about taking that even a step further and spending 5 minutes in silence, just being you, not even doing. I mean, that's the height of self-care, is to have that time to just,
Yep.
And look at the mind chatter and say, oh, that I don't do that anymore. Nope.
Right.
For 5 minutes. I mean, set a timer if you have to.
Yeah.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Just silently being you by yourself. Not performing for anybody, not even you.
Right. I love that. I used to let my inner critic rule, and I don't let her rule anymore. I named her Booger, and who's going to take Booger seriously? So I know, right? And because my coach said, name her a silly name. I'm like, well, I can't think of anything sillier than a booger. Just going to call her Booger. And because I was so mean to myself. I was so nice and kind and loving and caring to everybody else. And you know that because I talk to you a lot. And then so mean to myself. And I'm like, I can't do that. When I first met you and I did your master class the first time, I mean, I think we figured out my self-worth and self-love and all those things were really, 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 really low. And then you boosted the classes, all of our self-worth and self-love and what's the other one?
Self-worth,
I don't know.
self-love, self-esteem,
Self-esteem. And so you helped with all that. And I was like, because before I'm like, maybe this much. I had this much. So what's that? That's 2% out of 100%.
But here's the really cool part. Now, this is why I love Geotran. And I really do. I mean, I've been doing it for a long time. I came upon it. I was looking for the thing that I was here to do, and I found it. So, I mean,
you
that
did.
was super exciting. And I worked with Dorothy for 3 years in her office, and I go to all the classes. In fact, I'm the one taking the notes in all the classes, so I get to learn it twice. And what I love, love, love about it is that we can go in there using this inner programming language.
Yes.
Change those switches. Amplify the energy in those circuits. Unblock the circuits. So, for example, great lead in here, Wanda. Good job. For example, everybody who's listening, if you touch this point, now I'm just going to adjust my camera so you can see right here.
Right.
Yeah, touch this point. Well, for example, Wanda's doing it now for everybody, and it's off. Okay?
Yep.
Okay, so take your hand away.
Okay.
This is the self-esteem point. This is the very first thing we learn to correct in Geotran. Okay? So we're both going to do this. I'm going to take the right hand and cone the fingers like you pick up a sugar cube. And then with you as the clock, we're going to circle clockwise over that point.
Clockwise. Okay.
That's right. And we're going to say 4-2.
4-2.
Okay. Woo! Now touch the point.
It's softer.
And now It's strong.
Mm-hmm.
I have 100% self-esteem.
I have 100% self-esteem.
And that is strong. A muscle test
Mm-hmm.
for you, Wanda.
Yes.
Do you see how quickly
That's
you can change
super
this?
fast. That's super fast.
So what I
Or
like is
two.
like,
Or two.
yeah, just 4-2. You know,
Yeah.
do it every day for
Okay.
40 days. Or 42 days, because we know that 42 is the answer to the question, we need life in the universe and everything.
Yes.
So,
Right.
because it takes 42 days to really set up a good habit.
Mm-hmm.
See, so we can correct that, just that one point, and I've got, oh, believe me, I've got hundreds of points we could work on.
Yeah.
But to just do it the once is like just going to the gym once
Mm-hmm.
and then saying I'm fit. No, you
Right.
get to train your biomagnetic field. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
your field of life force energy and intelligence. You get
Mm-hmm.
to train it. Say, oh, yeah, I do have self-esteem. Absolutely, 100%, no question. And
Mm-hmm.
do you think that might change how you approach the rest of your life? Just
Yes. Yes. Because if you feel good about yourself, you're not going to accept some of the treatment that you get.
most of it, I suspect.
Well, yeah. Your self-esteem is low. You're like, well, this is all I can get.
Yeah, it's the best I can do, or it's as good as it gets. Wasn't there that film? It's as good as it gets.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you think about it, especially as women. Yeah, I know guys get this too, but you know, we're talking about we grew up in a culture and society that basically treats women as not fully human. Right?
Yes.
Even if we, I see it on Facebook all the time, and I'm in a lot of women entrepreneurs, women coaching groups in because I'm always really interested how other people look at this kind of work. And think about it. I've watched people in their own Facebook groups say, well, I don't want to brag, bud. I'm thinking, well, why don't you want to brag?
Right.
Why aren't you out there shining?
Right.
And asking for other people to validate what you know you've done well. That's you. That is your innate, unique, quirky, fabulous, messy self.
Yes.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. You should be bragging. Or as they say in Texas, it ain't bragging if it's true.
Well, it's not. It's like my page is like a little thing of all the good things I do. I don't put anything bad out there. If I have a bad day, it just says, I need a hug. That's all it says. Because I want to keep the positivity going and, all of that. I want people to come to my page to know, oh, it's going to be happy. It's going to be loving and caring and all those things. And so, because that's what I am. And I got to be me. And before, for months, I would do Winnie the Pooh stuff. And someone was like, one of my coaches or a potential coach, she was like, was Winnie the Pooh paying you? I'm like, no. And she goes, then stop putting his quotes on your page.
And then, I mean, so that, and it's very important that you're doing that in public. That was absolutely fantastic. And then, of course, me, I would then be asking, and how much are you doing that at home?
With my boys, a lot.
Well, that just tells you here's another place where you get to practice the new stuff. Yeah?
Yeah.
Because remember, you are modeling to those boys.
Yeah.
You're telling them what you will put up with, what you won't put up with. You're teaching them how to treat you, and you're teaching them how to treat other women.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And I want my boys to have good, healthy relationships, and that's super important to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So you better have one, because I guarantee you, they will not do what you say. They will do what you say.
Well, and that's, I grew up with that. Do what I do, do what I say, not what I do. It's like my grandpa hiding the liquor in the toilet or wherever grandma would find it. He had it everywhere. Yeah. And he drank all the time. That's all he did was drink and smoke. And so it's like, Grandpa, I love you. And I mean, he did other things, like he taught me and my brother how to drive. He was a very good grandpa. He took the place of my dad. Not that anybody could take the place of my dad, but he stepped up to be a father to us.
Yeah. So that masculine energy that we all need.
And him and my grandma swooped in and took us from our mother because our mother was not doing a good job. And so they instilled good morals in us, good values in us, good, ways to think, how to treat people, how to love, and all those things. Because my mother, I think the main problem was that she didn't know how to love. And she freely admitted that. She said, I like you a whole lot, but I don't love you because I don't know how. And then as soon as Austin was born, she held him in her arms. She's like, I love him. I love you, Wanda. And she learned how to love by me having a child. So that made me feel
to be a grandmother. She got to be a grandmother, is what you're saying.
And she was very good to both boys. So I'm very happy that they, because I've said, you ever treat them or talk to them how you talk to me or treat me, it's over. You won't have a relationship with them. And she never did. She was always very good to my boys. And she got better with me.
That is really great. I'm really happy to hear that. And, I can see it even as you're speaking, that you still had 20 odd years of being the little kid wondering why her mother doesn't love her.
Oh, I know. That's something that still hurts. I tell my boys every day, I don't care if he's 30. I'm like, I love you.
See, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those patterns that we pick up unconsciously.
Yeah.
Unconsciously. Yeah.
Well, she just consciously would say it.
Oh, no. The unconscious patterns are in you, my dear.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's why I'm like, I love you. I make sure and I make sure all their needs are met. And, I try to be the best mother I can. I kind of base it off of what you see in movies and TV shows. Not what my mother did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, here's another deeper step in, and you understand, I'm not pointing this at you, Wanda, but I'm saying for everybody. For me too. And it's something my teacher said to me. I said, okay, now spend some time going back to little Kyre and bringing her up the way she should have been brought up. Without, no blame to my mom. She was who she was.
Right.
I always got the impression she didn't like me much.
How could she not like you?
Probably too similar, But I can go back and I can bring up that little girl in a way that makes her feel loved and included.
Yes, we've done that before with me where you tell it, okay, we're going to take little Wanda to the ice cream shop.
Yeah.
And we're going to tell her that it's okay and it's not her fault. And so she'll feel better. Because I have a toddler, Princess, that's a brat, that is my inner child. And she's bratty and frilly and princessy and glittery. She's me. I can be a brat. But I'm just saying, that's what I am. That's what my inner child is. And I love pretty things. I love dolls. And I'm basically the big giant kid.
And that's okay. There are parts of your life where you're actually only the expression we use in my world is you're only usable to God.
Yeah.
You're only usable to spirit as a spiritual adult. Because, think about kids. Really, really the problem with narcissists, just to circle back around, is that they never grew up and they're determined not to grow up. So if you're finding that you're indulging in tantrums and you're just determined you're not going to change and things like that, that is exactly when your inner adult needs to go in and say, no, we don't do it that way. That's not how to live a good life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah? Oh, I'm an adult, but I love, I think I'm making up for my childhood because I love stuffed animals and dollies and
totally fine. That's totally fine. But don't treat your finances that way.
Oh no. I'm really good.
Your relationships or you know, we
Yep.
don't need the terrible twos wreaking havoc.
No, we sure don't. Okay, before our time runs out, I want to go over. Can you tell us about your offers?
Oh yeah, right. Thank you for that opportunity. I have a group offer. It's a 3-month offer.
Mhm.
And what we do is we're focusing on clearing the things that are not you. Yeah?
Right.
So clearing, resetting, activated, and it's pretty much focused around prosperity.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
I love to see people being prosperous, because then they can go out and create whatever the heck it is they want.
Absolutely.
The same applies though to physical problems, health problems, what have you, because clearing the field, clearing the circuits is going to help you in all areas.
Yep.
It really does. I also have a kind of VIP program.
Yeah.
Where I'm basically doing the same thing one-to-one, but it's goes a lot deeper, obviously, because we're working quietly and personally together. I totally get it that most people are uncomfortable with airing whatever their issues are, even in a small confidential group. Totally get that. And I just love working with people, so I'm happy to do it in groups, personally, big classes. I don't care.
Yeah.
So the group thing is $2,400 for the 3 months. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Great deal.
You can break it up into monthly payments. Absolutely. Yeah. That would be $600 a month. And the personal one, that is $6,000 for 3 months, and you get a lot of attention. And all of my clients are just, believe me, I have testimonials up the wazoo, and I'm so happy because I love to see their faces light up as they realize that they have permission to be who they actually are.
Absolutely.
They don't have to prove anything. They just get to zoom forward, doing what their joy is about. It's not about what I think they should do. It's about what they know they can do.
And you also have a 6-month program and a 12-month program too, right? For the VIP?
Yeah, that's right. And also, right now I'm working on, and I'd love some feedback on this if anybody has any.
Okay.
I'm going to set up a subscription service.
Yes, do it.
So that, it gives you access to whatever little trainings I'm doing, whatever master classes I'm doing. All the activations are on my website, and at the moment, free access to that. And I'm just super modest, like, $10 a month.
Really? I'm in.
10, 15, something like that. I haven't really worked out the details. And plus, I have to talk to my tech wizard and make sure that we can actually do this on the website.
You can.
I'm sure
Either that, or you can set up PayPal recurring invoices.
Right.
There's a way to do that on PayPal.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to happen, and it's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. So just keep in touch with me. Best way to get in touch with me is actually on Facebook.
Yes.
Here, here it is, right at the bottom of the screen. Facebook.com/Kyre.Adept. Also, my email is there, and one of my 5 websites.
Right. And then will you have guests on your show, or will you just talk to us?
Yes, I will have guests. I will talk to you. I've actually got an incredible gal, Irish, and she is so magnificently quirky that I said, please, would you please come and talk on the show, because I want to show people this model, what it is like to be fully you.
Yes.
So you are your own brand. And so she has agreed, and we're going to tape that next week. So that's going to be really fun.
That will be fun. And then you and I are doing a taping. So I'll make sure you let me know when I'll be on live so we can chat. And I'll let you know when this one's going to go live so we can chat. And then, because I think that's very fun, chatting with the people that are watching when playing.
Well, years ago, somebody said to me, what would be your favorite way of making money if you could do anything in the world? And I said, conversation. And they looked at me and said, well, what do you think you're doing? I love connecting with people. I love talking. If there's some way that I can help, I'm so happy to do it. It's like my friend, the physics professor. They actually pay him to do what he would do because he loves it. Well, people pay me for the fabulous results I help them get. But I do it anyway because I just love it.
You love it. You love it.
Yeah, this is being me.
Yes, and I love you being you, and this is being me. And I'm like, no mask today. My eye was bugging me, and I'm like, I'm not going to do my makeup today. All
And you
right.
look fine.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we're going to wrap up this episode. It was so great to have you on again. And now remember to watch Dr. Kyre when her episodes air. She'll post it in her group on her Facebook page. She'll have a page too, like I do, with where all the episodes will be. And watch her on my show. Watch her on her show. Show her lots of love and everything, because she's a wonderful person. Remember, she's the only one in the whole wide world that does activations, and 1 in 40 that does geotrans.
That's right. So you see me in all my uniqueness.
Yes, your uniqueness. All right. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Kyre. It's been a delight. All right. Bye, everybody. I love you. Mwah.
Hugs and blessings.
Hugs and blessings. Hugs.
Kyre Harrison is a phenomenal mother of 10 who is dedicated to becoming an entrepreneur. Continually looking for business opportunities to continue development, newly found authorship after co-authoring in Releasing the Shackles, Surviving Abuse, not to mention Amazon bestseller. In her free time, she continues to push to finish school for her RNs, which brought about the idea for her nurses and doctor scrub line. Pushing through all struggles and overcoming so many obstacles in life, she's continually motivated to want more and do more. Focused, motivated, and ambitious all describe this supermom. With over 11 years in the customer service and retail field, she is continually building and expanding on connections. In her free time, she loves being involved in her community. She is a member of the NAACP, where she hopes her voice will help bring change. Motivated to always reach and set more goals, she's looking forward to see what 2023 will bring. Kyre Harrison, a co-author in the anthology Injustice, Volume 1. Empowered by Iris Wright. Audiobook produced by Angie B. Productions and narrated by me, the Queen Bee, Angie B.